Fuck. Huh. But I need to do how do I do on the
Battery 60%. Connected to Zane Stern's iPhone.
wow, this is not good. Mm. Yay. Redock. Okay. And like realistically, do I do this? I do this. Hi, thanks for the heartbeat. Wow. Boo 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 boo. All right. But if I go over here and I go this, and I got that on there too. Okay. That's interesting. I guess that's how that works. Sweet, maybe. Sweetums. That's... I'm not charging phones correctly. All sorts of stuff is all messed up, but whatever. Let's get logged in. Woo! Hi, Jonathan. How are you? Welcome, welcome. Thank you, thank you. Wow, the bae, the baddie, the hottie. I appreciate all of it. For sure. For sure, for sure. And the taps, too. Holy cow. Even more. Even more. Do. It's Thursday. Thirsty, thirsty Thursday. For sure. How's Orlando? Ooh, gotta keep that open. Woo! Mm-hmm. Bam. Do. Well, I'm trying to log into my stuff and it's not being super helpful. There we go. More helpful now. Doop-a-doo. We want Flip Factory? He's actually, I mean, last time I texted him, I think yesterday, and he's down here in Florida, actually. We were talking about bars and stuff. So, I don't know. He's on vacation-ish. I think he found a place down here, though. So, can I wholesale a property that was listed by an agent, or does it have to be for sale by owner? I mean, so it was or is currently listed by an agent. That's kind of an important distinction. But if it's on market with an agent, you have to go through that agent to get a contract on it, and it needs to be very, very cheap compared to... You need to get it a lot less than what it is listed for. Like a lot less. Like a lot less. Like There was a hurricane here in town a couple of years ago, 2022 actually, and I was getting things like 200,000, 100,000. I kind of almost really didn't really do on market stuff unless it was at least 100K off a list. But that's kind of really the margins in which, like, big numbers where you don't care that it's on market or not because you got such a amazing deal beyond what's on market that, like, it doesn't matter. Thank you. Thank you, Felixo. I appreciate you. Always a fan of the polos. You know, I thought about you today. I was doing laundry and I was washing all my polos, Felixo. And I thought to myself, I'm like, you know what? I don't think I can wear polos. Oh, sorry. I don't think I can wear like t-shirts on the weekend on live anymore. I think I need to go polos all the time. I think that's going to be the new protocol. Always in a polo. Bam. What you think of that? That's just my thought. Yeah, gotta stay styling. I don't know. I mean, I have a lot of cool t-shirts and stuff, but I don't know. I also feel like, I don't know. People ask me like kind of professional-ish questions, so I guess even on the weekend, I still kind of gotta look a little professional-ish. Redfin or Zillow, it's all basically, those are all going to come from the MLS. So those websites are fed by the MLS. So they're not the original data source for houses that are on market. I mean, again, so in the hurricane time, going back to that, in the hurricane time, each of us were doing about 100 offers to on-market properties a month. And of that, maybe we would get 5 to 10. And again, we were also offering huge amounts off of list price. MLS is what the realtors use. MLS is what realtors use. So what licensed agents have access to. So MLS, a licensed real estate agent gets a listing agreement signed with the seller. They take all the pictures, they put it in the MLS, and then the MLS distributes it to these third-party websites like Zillow, Realtor, all sorts of things like that. And it's all based off the data in the MLS, but the MLS is only available to licensed real estate agents. So there's actually things on the MLS, there's called like confidential section, which is things that are not distributed to websites like Zillow, Redfin, Realtor.com, all that good stuff. Which is, again, gives people that are licensed more information to things that are on market houses. So, hi! Polo, gotta keep this guy handsome possible. We can't let this guy go without looking good. Thank you. Appreciate you saying that. Hi, Austin. How are you? I read your DM. I was on a call that literally made me late to this live stream. I will find some time to have a call with you for sure. Where do you go? Thank you for the heart me. I appreciate you. Where do you go to find a deal? Trying to get started with the info, YouTube, etc. Propwire.com is a free resource that will give you And thank you for tapping the screen too. Propwire.com is a free resource that will give you property information, including you can sort by things like pre-foreclosures, interfamily transfers, things of that nature, in which you can find, additional properties. You're gonna jump in fully, all fours, or just on 2 feet. Sorry. And you're in Vegas, right? You're in Vegas, if I remember right. Bo. You're 100%. You're in Louisiana. Okay. Well, that's better. Okay. Louisiana. I like Louisiana. You're tired of dealing with the government. Yeah. I am not in Texas. I plan on going to Texas. I am in Florida still. I plan on going to Texas at the end of next month, but I'm going back and forth. So I'm not getting rid of my house here. Is the plan. So So, actually, like, Louisiana, that's actually just what I was thinking about. Like, Louisiana's, like, in the middle of that, so. Florida, yes, because you were doing the stuff in Florida. Right. You were doing the stuff in Florida with the, proceeds, right? You were doing proceeds. Do I wholesale? Yes, that's what I do. Yeah. Texas, Florida, Georgia, North Carolina, Massachusetts. Surplus funds. Yep. In Florida. Which is great. Great thoughts, great experiences for that, for sure. Are you asking Austin? Austin wants to start. Boo. Are you asking me, Samchai? Samchai, where are you, Samchai? You're in Oregon. I would look locally. I'm a big fan of in-person physical presence. I'm a huge, not a fan, I'm like a believer, like that's my ride or die thing. You couldn't think of a better person to start with other than me. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I happen to agree. So look locally. Physical presence is important, right? It's easy, especially as you're starting out too, right? You don't have the skill set yet. Not that that's a bad thing, but you don't have the skill set yet. You can't handle all the objections that are going to happen over the phone, cold calling people, right? You just don't have that knowledge base. I mean, you could come in here and you can listen to me hours a day, but I mean, I attempt to do it by doing this live stream and then clipping all the information into my channel, but the objections, like, I have years of doing this, and like the objections that you have to overcome on a whoop-a-doop-a-doop-a-doop-a-doop, you know, it's also part of what I do for my team members on a day-to-day basis. Even like today, all of these crazy scenarios and things that I have to, you know, that I know. You don't have that knowledge base starting out. Getting back to the point, you don't have that knowledge base starting out. But if you're in person physically at someone's house, you have a much better shot of closing a deal than you would over the phone, where they can throw these things at you and you have no idea what to do, and then they hang up on you and it's done. Right? If they hang up on you and it's done, it's done. If you're there in person talking to somebody, and be like, also, it happens to me too, um, where my team members are calling me at the actual house, right? Hey, my name is Zane. Hey, Zane, they're telling me this, this, and this. I don't really know. So then I boop, 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 boop. Again, looking for the answer to the question, because sometimes there are just things that I can see in title recordings, things like that, that they have questions about. But otherwise, it's just, again, I know how to handle objections, so that's what I'm doing on the phone. So that's in person. Again, I'm not going to answer your phone call, to be honest, because you're not on my team. But at the same time, you can, in person, just be like, hey, all right, I don't have this information yet, right? I don't have this information. I don't have my laptop with me. You can do whatever wordage, verbiage you have to say in person, right? Just be like, hey, I don't have that information right now. I didn't bring my laptop with me. Let me come back tomorrow, boop, 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 and I'll have that information for you. So that's kind of how I would work it in person. So yes, then that means that kind of limits your market to around here where you are. Do a couple hour radius away from it for sure, but the technical stuff, right? The technical stuff, again, that when you're on the phone, you need to like keep them on the phone, and then if they ask you something, you need to have the answer right away and right away and right away and right away. So again, I think that's why in person it's better, because you can just be like, hey, pause, let me come back tomorrow. I'll have more information for you. You're on PopWire right now. Very good. You recently bought a wholesaling course today. Okay. Which one? Which course did you buy? Out of curiosity. I really don't know anything about courses, to be honest with you. What are out there, besides what people come and tell me. I don't even actually, but people come and tell me things and I don't even remember what they are. So I guess maybe there's not a point in you telling me which one it is, because people tell me and I never remember any of them. But anyways, there's a bunch of courses out there. There are a bunch of courses out there. For sure. Somebody told me... Yeah, I don't remember the name of it. I'm trying to think it. Oh! Gotcha. So you did the same surplus funds with him, and then you got one from him. Gotcha. What kind of deals does he do? That's one thing about the courses. I think that's kind of important. Like, there's lots of facet of wholesale, right? There's the cash offers. There's like Section 8 kind of stuff. There's creative finance. There's sub 2. There's seller finance. There's, you know, all sorts of things that you can do. He's a great teacher. Okay. There's a lot of guys that do the pay-per-click stuff. There's a lot of guys that do the cold raw data stuff. You know. So there's lots of optionality. Not sure you haven't got into it yet? Okay. That's just kind of what, I mean, if it puts you down a certain road, just be aware that there are other avenues too. I don't know the guy's course or who the guy is or anything, but it's possible that it may take you in a specific way. So just be aware. There's other doodads and things out there in the world. So that's cool. Good way to start. Get some information. And you, yeah. Between me and a course, for sure. I think you'll be on a little rocket ship here soon. Of course, I am always in here too, answering questions, so, you know, if you can't catch me on the phone, catch me in here. Little St. James Island, 10 out of 10. For sure. We love Little St. James Island. You know, I was thinking today that I just need like a little, probably just a little sticker to put on here that says Little St. James or something. Even though it's not, even though it's Fort Myers, it's here where I live, but I still think I might as well just go ahead and like do it for the live. You know? I think it'd be fun. What do you think about that? Because it can just, then it can like just be like right around, basically that's what I was thinking. Like just somewhere in this space, like just have Little St. James. You know? Is it good for the long run or just a starter to get into other avenues? Well, so I think both. Personally, I think both. To be honest, it's a great way to start, but then at the same time, I've been doing it for years, so I also know when those like magnificent deals that I want to flip or I want to keep as a rental, I know when those magnificent deals come along, and just from that knowledge base, but it also, again, it keeps me in front to know when those type of things come up. So that's kind of what I think about, you know? That's kind of what I think on that. Does that make sense? I wasn't a clear explanation, but like it keeps me in the forefront, right, of where the deals are happening. Then I also can see deal flow. I can see how the market's moving too pretty clearly. Like, because again, the market moves over the years. Like, market moves up and down and up and down. It keeps me on the forefront of that. It keeps me safe. So again, I think wholesaling being at the forefront of your business is kind of cool. And even if you just eventually get to the point of internalizing it, where you take everything on yourself, the structures are still the same. Or also too, you don't like, if there's a deal that you don't want to buy, then like still make money off it because you did all the work to get there and do. So have I used transactional funding as down payment? No, I've not done that. I don't have any need to do that. So I don't know why. But have I ever sourced deals from the county land banks? County land banks. Well, I don't do land deals outside of development or odd custom build parcels. So I don't know what the land banks would be. I don't know. And I don't know if that's... I'm in Florida. I don't know of land banks here specifically. So, sorry, change topic. Where does the contract come from? So I would say that use your state contract. You said you're in Oregon. Look up the Oregon as is contract for residential purchases. It should be like from the Realtor Association or the Bar Association of the state. Use the standardized state approved contract for sure. That is your best avenue. Just Google it, because if something goes wrong, and things go wrong, and in my experience, right, if you go to court and you present the most standard state approved contract in your case, then you just kind of skip a bunch of steps where people are analyzing the wordage in your contract, because this is just like blanketly accepted in your state as the correct way to do business. So then you can just move on to the subject matter of what brings you to court, not deal with issues with your contract. So again, I'm a big fan of using the state approved contract. If there's something that you need in your state approved contract that's not in there, then you do an addendum to the state approved contract, right? Don't make a new contract up. There's no need for that. So, and then also get to know your state approved contract really well, because like there's some like cool stuff in those that a bunch of lawyers made up. And again, the resources that were used to make state approved contracts are way more than the resources that you'll ever have to make such a contract. So there's lots of cool technicality things and stuff in those state approved contracts that, you know, can help you out quite a bit. That's why they're there. Do I have, thank you for the follow. Do I have buyers in Detroit? I know people in Detroit. I don't have buyers in Detroit, to be real with you. You know? Q. Oh, this is a different Q. Okay. I have another Q that comes in here. He doesn't normally ask me questions about real estate. So I was a little confused, and your profile picture is different. Best leads to call. Best leads to call. I think foreclosure leads are popping right now. Honestly, lots of foreclosure leads to call right now, for sure. Yeah, great questions so far. We are popping. So I print it out and fill it out. Yep. Exactly. Print it out, fill it out. Right. And again, basically you need in your assignment, you need assignability. Or if you're in a state that doesn't allow assignability, you have to double close, then just use the contract. Same state approved contract with your seller, and then same state approved contract with your buyer, with you in the middle. That's how you would do that in order to do a double close, which is required in some states. Again, I don't know the deal with Oregon. You may be required to do double closes. I don't know. But also, the person that asked earlier, have I used transactional funding with down payment? Transactional funding is actually designed to facilitate double closes, not facilitate down payment. So that's why I've never used transactional funding in that way. What market am I in? I am in Florida, Texas, Georgia, North Carolina, and Massachusetts. What about you? What market are you in? You have a $2,000 charge off. Should I pay it in full or should you settle it? Depends on what you want to do. I would say, like, if you care about that creditor that gave you that $2,000 and like you want to maintain a relationship with them, then you should pay it in full. How talk am I? How talk am I? It's my first hour trying to learn. Oh, okay. First hour trying to learn. So, for a house, you're trying to clean up your credit to get a house. I understand. Okay. So it's not really going to make a big difference, like your credit wise. I'm not on credit, but like it's not going to be a huge difference between you settling it or paying it in full because the default happened, right? The only thing, the difference between settling it and paying in full would be, again, if you want to maintain a relationship with that creditor. If you're looking for credit for somebody else, they're not going to care. It's already, the default with that creditor has already happened, so they don't really care how you resolve that as long as you resolve it. But again, if the person that issued you that credit line you want to maintain a relationship with or ask for new credit in the future with, then you need to pay it in full. So, how talk am I? I don't know how to talk. I talk a lot, Coin Boys. But good to see you, Coin Boys. Ohio and PA, still trying to get my first deal. Okay. Ohio's a decent market. PA is a market where you have to double close, I believe. Samchi, I believe that's the term for an old wooden ship. Double close. Double close, Samchi. So double close, basically, when you're wholesaling a deal, you're purchasing the property from a seller, right? And then either you assign the contract, which means basically you're selling your contract rights as the buyer, because you're saying in the contract with the seller that I am the buyer. I want to buy this house, right? So you can assign your role as buyer to an investor, and that would get you an assignment fee. But it's not allowed in some places to do that type of business. So in order to wholesale houses, then you would need to when you go under contract with the seller, it says you're the seller and I'm the buyer. I actually have to buy this house. So I buy this house, and then I become the seller to the investor buyer in another contract. So that's double contracts, double close. But there are things like transactional funding, like again that I mentioned from the other guy that mentioned it. Transactional funding is just a short-term, one-day event, because what you do in that double close scenario is you don't buy the house if you don't have someone that you're going to sell it to, because right, that's not the point of our business. We're not here to buy houses just willy-nilly and then hope we sell them later. So yes, you're putting yourself down as the buyer, and you need to do it in an LLC as well to avoid liability on your personal stuff. So yes, so you need somebody lined up to buy the house from you afterwards. Then you can buy the house in the morning and then sell the house in the afternoon, basically. And there are lenders that will lend you money in that same day time period that it takes for you to close your deal, buying the house in the morning, and then for you to close your deal, selling the house in the afternoon, essentially. You prefer the Anchorman? Hey, I like estate lawyers. You got any probate deals I can buy? Where are you at? North Texas? Texas and California. Is this my favorite attorney with a real account? Just asking. I have another estate attorney. It is! Hi! How are you? Rebrand. Rebrand again. Well, I already know the answer. Yes, it is very complicated. It is very, very complicated. It is not as simple as the internet makes it seem, which is why I'm here. You know? That is partially why I'm on here. Because it's not as simple as it seems. For sure. There's lots of things. And, like, you are technically buying a house. So, like, you incur that liability, too, when you wholesale. You know? How many leads do I get off of live? Yeah, I know my stuff for sure. So my thing right now is I'm only really taking on people that live in the markets that I work in. So like Sam Chi is in Oregon, right? My conversation would change if Sam Chi was in a market that I operate in, where would be more like become part of my team and do this under me, where I can handle all of these questions and all of these things for you. But again, I can't. I need to do it in more markets, but I'm not set up in more markets right now. So that's the thing. That's kind of my lead gen, you know. But I have people come back around and simulate conversation and stuff like that. But yeah, that's my deal. You know. Yeah, that's my whole deal. That's my business strategy. What other questions you got, Sam Chi? Because that's what I'm here for. Boo-boo-boo-boo. Betancourt. Betancourt? Interesting. You're kind of frazzled? In a good way or a bad way? The thoughts, the not thoughts? Just listening? Okay. Yeah. there's typically... Thanks, Crizzy. Appreciate you. Um, listening. Yes, yes. Yeah. There's lots of questions that come up in here. It kind of gets me a little frazzled sometimes, too. Because, again, well, I've only been on for 30 minutes, and it's just been boop, 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 boop. So, yeah. What market am I in? I live in Florida. My business partner is in Massachusetts. So those are our primary two markets, but I also do Texas, Georgia, and North Carolina at the moment too. Crazy. Questions. Yeah. You're in Massachusetts? No way. Yes. Let's she lives in Framingham. And I always try and pronounce it a different way than I should be pronouncing it. But Framingham. You're in Boston. Okay, cool. Very cool. How long have you been doing it? What you up to? You want to do it with us? Because that's why I'm here. Oh, you're trying to sell deals in Atlanta. You don't want to do it actually in Boston? Atlanta's a good market. For sure. Absolutely. Okay. I sent you a follow request. If you send me a follow request, I'll probably just set you up with Kelly's cell phone because that's, again, she's my business partner that's absolutely like up in Massachusetts. But thank you for the follow. But we will get you guys connected for sure. And yeah. But y'all have had that snow though. It kind of got her messed up and behind schedule with all that snow stuff. You know? Y'all had some crazy weather up there. Yes, we are completely off market. We are completely off market. Yeah. Yeah. That snowstorm like a couple weeks ago. Now she's behind schedule. But that whole weekend she was just like stuck, you know? And then I think one of the guys on our team, one of the guys on the team up there, he just like left. He came back. He left for like the whole 2 weeks. He's like, I'm not staying here during this stuff. I'm going away. We're like, okay, have fun, you know? They have some deals in Florida too. Interesting. Are you doing on market or are you doing off market? What are you doing? So you're working all the markets that we work. Oh, someone asked me. You know? On off market. Okay. Cool. I mean, so Kelly, we definitely have the dispositions in all of our markets too. So, but you're actually up there with Kelly. Yeah. Well, so again, I'm only operate where someone has the physical presence of a market that I operate in. That's kind of my deal right now. Like I was saying, I only take on people that live in the markets that I live in. I think it's very important. Hey, thanks for logging live. Welcome back, user. Good to see you. Surprised, actually, they didn't call me. Hi, Daisy. Honestly, I haven't gotten a update, but we had a huge paperwork package. We did a memo and an order and recontract and uh, unilateral cancellation for the other contract. Sorry. I just realized they've been on this meeting for an hour and a half at this house. And someone asked, like, is it over? Somebody else asked me, is the meeting over? I'm like, you know what? Actually, I haven't heard anything. I completely forgot. For the... Let's see. Are you able to click on properties in PropWire? Yeah, it should, like, on the sidebar. What do you mean? It should give you, like, a little pop-up that gives you more information. For sure. Memo has to be notarized, so he said he was going to take her to a UPS store. Ooh! Oh my goodness, my back. Also, all of a sudden. That was wild. Hi, Ross. Thanks for liking the live. Just in time. Oh my gosh. Something weird in my back. Boo, 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 boo. Happy Thursday. Happy Thursday. Oh my goodness. You're going to Austin this weekend. What part of Texas are you in? You're in farther south? Then? I don't remember. I'm sorry. I'm good. But I'm good at remembering things, but then I don't. Wait, is this for the Christina Aguilera concert? Am I close? I missed that? I try to remember things. I do, I promise. Sweet. Deep's out. I lived in San Antonio for like a year, 98 to 99. No. 98 to 2000. I went through the Y2K in San Antonio. My godfather's in San Antonio too. Well, yeah. I've always said San Antonio's like my favorite. Honestly. San Antonio's like my favorite. One of my favorite places that I've ever lived. I did tell you that? Okay. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Repeating stories like an old person. I feel awful. I don't mean to. I do not mean to. Did you find a quadplex for your brother yet? Yes, military brat. That's me. That is me. What's the cost to get started? Looks like there's a couple of costs. Next Tuesday? Okay. Like closing or looking at one? Looking, okay. What's it cost to get started? I mean, so I would stay away from spending money, Samchi. Don't spend money if you don't need to. PropWire is free, right? I gave you a free resource, PropWire. You may need to like skip trace the houses, or again, like I said, or you just go knock on their door. You just go knock on their door. Try and keep your costs super low. Keep your costs super low as you're starting. Don't fall into the trap of spending a bunch of money where you don't need to. You know? Epstein's knocking on your door. Ha! Makes sense? I'm just gonna start calling this Little St. James now. Forged Devil, what do you think of that? Also, how have you been? I haven't seen you in a little while. It makes sense, yeah. But like, you can skip trace some of the phone numbers. You know? That may cost, like a skip tracing service may cost you a couple bucks here and there. But, you know, don't go all in. I was just having this conversation with someone earlier about people that spend crazy money on Google or pay-per-click ads, right? In general. Like, you gotta know what you're doing there, or you just get really, really bogged down. You know what I mean? You're saving up for an island down payment? We know someone that will do a reverse mortgage on the island for you. She's up in NorCal. She'll do a reverse mortgage purchase for your Epstein Island purchase for you. Yes, definitely you need to make an L. That is actually one thing that you have to do in order to contract in that name. But you can do all sorts of things with an LLC. It doesn't necessarily need to be for wholesaling. It can always be choosed. Basement, I think it's the whole island. Yeah, I think it includes the basement for sure. You know? Boop, boop, boop. Boop, 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 boop. You know? Usually that's DLC. What do you mean DLC? What is DLC? I'm not familiar with the DLC term. Can you help me out? I don't know what that is. Okay. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Bo 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 bo. Well, okay. We don't have to answer. It's okay. We can just sit here. Be just fine. You know? I'm all down for island talk at any time though. Whenever you want to jump back into island talk. Did I ask you? Or was that earlier? I don't remember. I think I just want to put like right here-ish. I think I just want to put like a little St. James sticker right there. Or maybe I do it like behind my head. So then I can go boop. You know? Yes, Sam Chi. That's a great plan. Get the jersey. There's a jersey? There's a little, like, what? Little St. James U jersey? Or is there like an NFL team on Little St. James that I don't know about? I don't know what the jersey... Or... am I missing that part? That sounds like a big part that I'm... of everything that I'm missing, actually. It's the blue Epstein jersey. The one he wears with a flag. Hold on. Oh, yeah. But it's like the quarter zip. It's not a jersey, it's a quarter zip. Look it up on TikTok Shop. Yeah, we love TikTok Shop. Thanks for reminding me, Forged Devil. Let's watch the view count go up now. But can you buy them on TikTok Shop, the Epstein quarter zip? I know which one you're talking about. It's got the little flag. It's got the little... You got off TikTok Shop? Why? TikTok Shop is so wonderful. We love TikTok Shop. Little quarter zip. I gotcha. So make an LLC. Would you recommend walking into a real estate office to ask questions? Actually, they're probably gonna just want you to hire them. They're probably gonna make you sign like a buyer's broker agreement, and I don't think that they're going to be helpful with you, to be really honest, if you walked into a real estate office. So that too, I'm here. Ask me questions. You can ask me questions on here. And I mean, I am licensed, right? I am licensed in Florida, but so I know pretty much. When you buy my house, I'm hiring. Well, thank you. You run a home service-based business. What's the best way to connect with realtors? The best way to connect with realtors is at bars, because they're probably drinking all of their commissions away. No, I'm just kidding. Let me think about that a different way. Restaurants where they're spending all of their commission. No. Malls where they're spending all their commission. Or Epstein parties. Great answer. Epstein parties. All the realtors at Epstein parties. Spending all their commission, I guess, to keep that on the same trend. I'm still thinking about the answer. I'm not ignoring you. I'm just filling it the time. You know what I mean? So we're not just sitting here watch me think. You admire the dedication? Thank you. Yes, I do stream. Yes, I do. Unless TikTok makes me do a vacation, then I do. Right. So they're all fragmented, right? They're pretty like fragmented. You got teams. Well, thank you. I like my streams too. You got teams that will like be in an office setting, right? They're easy to find and put together, but then you also have the independent people, because there are independent people that just go and do what they want, and it's hard to track them down. But like also like for me too, there's just people that like blast me, like trying to find and get a hold of me all the time. So, you know, so then I can't do that and do all the other things. I like my streams. Yeah, I do. I have fun on here. That's why I do it. I do enjoy it. What do I think about solo wholesalers having 10 VAs? I mean, I think that having 10 VAs is a lot, for sure. but also it just depends on the skill set of the VAs. Honestly, if they're just like dialer, dead dialer, hello, can I call and make an appointment? Yeah, you probably need a bunch because your conversion's so low on people doing that kind of activity that you have to pump out lots and lots of volume of calls and dials and all that stuff in order to like get down to someone like bottom of the barrel enough to actually talk to that VA is my personal opinion on that. If you have a closer on the phone, then your conversion ratio is infinitely higher than a VA. That's typically what I've found in anyone that I've talked to that's done that system. I've talked to plenty of other people that I peers in the industry with about all of their VA setups and do. And normally they kind of get to the same point of not keeping all 10 for sure. So that's just what I see and what I talk to people about. Yes, people do that, but then their conversion ratio is so low. I had like one guy that I knew, his conversion ratio at one point was like in single digits, and he was just pumping tons of leads through people. But like he was like at a 1, 2, 3% conversion ratio with them, and it just like that's just a obviously waste of money at that point, right? Let's say I negotiate a good price and I get the buyer. I also sign a contract. Then you take it to a title company. You take both contracts. You're like, here you go. And then typically you need to ask that title company, do I need to establish transactional funding to accommodate this? Or do you mind handling it inside of escrow? Is there a way to put the seller? No, you do not want that because you want to be in position. So like if you do that, then that's you acting as a real estate agent, right? You need to be a principal in the transaction in order to do wholesaling. If you just put the buyer and seller together and let them do their thing, then you're acting as a realtor and you need to be licensed for that. That's unlicensed activity. You need to be in the chain in order to do wholesaling. You need to be in contract position as a principal in order to wholesale. Otherwise, you're acting as a real estate agent. That's the deal. Dropping bombs. Yeah. Why do you say ouch? What is your experience? What's your thought, Credit Poppy, if you're still in here? I am curious. Because again, I've had this conversation a few times already. Around the years and years. And it works for sometimes too. It does work for sometimes. Like it worked for a little while, but then I just see those systems implode sometimes. Was ouch about the conversion ratio or ouch about my rant in general? Conversion ratio, yeah. It was bad. And I mean, like, it's a guy that I did a lot of business with too. He's in Tel Aviv. Super nice. Actually, when all the stuff with Israel started is kind of when I lost contact with him. Not because of that, but just because of the business relationship wasn't working out anymore. But yeah, like it was like, it worked for him for a long time, but then it just started getting really not good, you know? And we stopped doing business, so I don't really know how he corrected that, but it was getting really bad. So... But if you're doing 20K, 30K average deals, I'm just trying to weigh the worth of hiring a big team. Right. At least capital contract ramp up to start. Yeah. So I would I would redirect. So in my experience, like my team members, I have like closers making that stuff, right? And the more that they negotiate past my number is direct in their pocket, right? So I pay them super, super well. I pay them super, super well because they're closers, right? I pay them on closing too, but I would say as opposed I would do 10 one closer over 10 VAs for sure. That would be how I would allocate correctly. You know, and honestly, like, this is the first year I did it. Like last month, I'm a big believer in spending correctly on talent. So like, me and my business partner approved last month. Our top 2 producers, they get a 10% bonus at the end of the year, right? So whatever the fee that they bring in their pocket this year, we're gonna match 10% at the end of the year, which is wild because we already pay them really well. But again, they're like my prime talent that has been with me for years, so we decided to pay them even more so they produce even more, and they're super pumped up about it, and they're probably going to produce a lot more. You know what I mean? And they kind of also like be like, okay, so my goal is to make 500K this year. And I'm like, okay, so you're getting a 50K bonus from me at the end of the year. Sweet. You know? Right. So that's how I would allocate resources to talent. For sure. So seller, me, contract, me, buyer, contract, and then Amerititle. I don't know, like a title company, Amerititle's, I don't really know about them too much, but yes, that should be fine. For sure. That's how that works. Yeah. Because also, like, just in the example that I just gave, yeah, I'm paying my closer a lot of money, but at the same time, if he's making 500K, how much do you think I'm making off of him this year too, right? So that's a correct allocation of resources in my mind. Right. Yeah. Right. But, so, again, but your VAs, though, aren't in a position where they can actually... your VAs are not in a position where they're actually going to change the fee structure at all, right? Are your VAs closing deals a significant way like that? I don't know how you're structured, but like that's my thing. Like, because again, 500K would be a push. I mean, not a crazy push for them, but it would be like a good significant bump for them, right? To hit the 500K mark. So, you know, that incentive, does it push correctly? You know what I mean? VA in the Philippines, yeah. Are they in control of contract price is what I'm getting at, though. Is there any risk of being on the hook to actually buy the house? Yeah. Yep, there is a risk of that because you're in contract to buy a house. There's ways to get out of it, of course, but yeah, when you like sign a contract to buy a house, then it does kind of obligate you to buy the house unless you get out of it the correct way. So, yeah. Again, I guess also too, that's why you do it in LLC, but yeah. Also too, like even the earnest money, most commonly people get it tripped up with earnest money deposits, like deposit fees. And like, if you promise the deposit, you still don't, if basically, most of the time, like you getting off the hook of buying the house, completing the sale of the house is remedied by giving up your earnest money deposit, right? Which is typically still thousands of dollars. So even the fight typically then becomes the seller wants their thousands of dollars in earnest money, and they can win that. So like, you know, the risk is like thousands of dollars, not hundreds of thousands of dollars, but it's still, yes, a risk. And in some scenarios too, I mean, I really rarely see it, but a seller can pursue, if they really wanted to, a seller could pursue specific performance of contract where they force you to buy the house. But obviously, if you're not able to buy the house, then they're not going to really win that. But then they could seek damages for your failure to perform on contract too. So she's just sourcing. Right. Right. That's good. Yeah. And so you're going to do all the acquisitions, which is good too. Yeah. Question. Answer. How are you, Cole? Long time no see. I'm glad you're asking these questions, Samchi. Honestly, because there's not a lot of people that ask the questions like you do. Like, of actually the real risk. So I'm glad that you're aware. Like, it is actually impressive. You know? It is kind of impressive that you're asking these questions. Because not a lot of people ask these questions. They just see, like, flashy stuff on the internet and go for that. And then forget all of the other stuff. So, I mean, honestly, the fact that you're asking a lot of those questions is pretty good stuff on you, to be really honest. What's the question, Cole? How can I start wholesaling and protect my personal properties? Yeah, you definitely always wholesale in an entity, LLC. You don't wholesale in your personal name. For sure. And be aware of just random off the thought. But be aware there are certain HOAs that don't allow corporate ownership. So if you offer on a property that is in an HOA that doesn't allow corporate ownership under your LLC, then you have to do it in your personal name, and I just would probably not even transact that deal. Just leave it alone. It's not worth it. If I give you a house address, can you give me... Yes. You cannot put it in the chat, though. You cannot put it in the chat. So you need to DM it to me. But I will be happy to do that. Hi, Alex. Hey, I just looked. I just surpassed 2,000 followers on this live stream. Woohoo! I was like sitting at 991999999, you know? And I just looked to go find the DMs, and I passed 2,000! Woo! That's exciting. Sorry. You sent it. Okay. Des Moines. Des Moines, Des Moines, Des Moines. Thank you. The 1999 bothered me for the last 24 hours. Honestly, I'm like, really? 1999? Like, I couldn't have gotten one more last night? It really kind of annoyed me. But here we are. Okay. No word. I know, man. He said end of the week. They gotta finish rehabbing. They gotta finish rehabbing the house. I fully believe it's gonna be okay. I wouldn't be worried about it. And you were there. You were there on Saturday when they were renovating the house. And you said that they were being really, really slow. And it's not the way that you would do it, because they were doing things that were really slow, like carrying buckets of mortar from the garage to the front yard or something like that. You know? I fully believe it's going to be okay. Why is this not... Alright, back to Des Moines. Why does it just keep giving me Des Moines? Come on. What is my system doing? Is it gonna let me look at this? Or is it just gonna keep... There we go. Lots writing on it. But, Alex, at the same time, if there's a lot writing on it, there's just gonna be more and more and more, because you're the OG mod, and you're gonna get all of the stuff in LA from me, for sure. Forever and forever. 200K? Well, you're good. Four bed, 3 bath, 2,500 square foot. 0.37 acre lot. I mean, you're good at 200 for sure. I can tell you that right now. Do you want more information than that? It's a big house. 80 to 100K makes sense. Yes. A 700K, yeah. This is in Des Moines. I mean, that's expensive for Des Moines. I know I'm pronouncing it wrong, but, you know, it is expensive for there. (1956) build. Des Moines, Iowa. Iowa. Ooh. Jeez. Oh, 1.75 acres. Okay. You get active there on 1 3/4 acres. It's crazy. Oh, it's zoned commercial and residential. That doesn't really help. I know I'm pronouncing it incorrectly on purpose. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Just as a silly. You close to the aeropuerto? Aeropuerto? You are close to the aeropuerto? Des Moines? Des Moines. Des Moines. That's how it's spelled, is Des Moines. I mean, you could do internal acquisitions, but typically those guys don't want to, like, typically those guys want to do that for people that already, they don't want to teach you, and, you know what I mean? They don't want to teach you how to do everything. Like, they only want people, they'll hire internal acquisitions people that have already been in the business and know what they're doing. So, and they typically hire them licensed too. So, like, if you want to do it, then you kind of gotta be on the hook. That's the whole point. No risk, no reward. You just put in an offer on an off-market property? What do you mean do something soon? For who? For your dad? So, I'm still looking at this. New construction. Oh, gosh. There's not a lot of comps in this area. You're passing major... in the Des Moines. You're passing major intersections for comps, which I'm not a fan of doing. Oh, okay. Is the market going up or going down there? Or is it stable? Because you have like a 420 in July that closed. You have a 420 in July if you're here still. I know I'm taking a while, Cole, but I don't just like, you know what I mean? An ARV out there. On 16th, so on 18th Street, there's a 420 comp, I see. On 16th Street. But that's like 16th. You got 355. Oh wait, off 16th? That's smaller than you. Yeah, I think you should be. I think it's a good comp. Yeah, it's very similar size to you. Very similar size to you. It's close, radius-wise. And it's like a similar, what? It's a 56 build, you're a 56 build. It's probably practically the same house, is it not? It's a little old. I just don't know what the market's been like. You know? So, I guess it's gone down. The market's gone down a little bit because it is saying it closed for 420, but then it's telling me 390. But still, yeah, you're 200K. You'll still be good. You know? You'll still be good, I think. I mean, I said that right off the jump. I just didn't know how good it. I didn't know how good it would be, but yes, it is fine. You know. And you're not skimping on renovations. Yeah. Well, because then you have on Evans. On Evans, you have. That's another July. This is a little lower. What? Hold on. And then rent. You get $2,500 a month in rent. I mean, you can have a decent cap as a backup exit strategy on it too. You know? That's exactly right, Alex. Rent it and see. It's that, yeah. I think you still have a fine exit because you're not terrible. You're not terrible on rent as a backup exit. So I think you're safe there also. You're not out of scope where it would just be like insane to rent something out like that, you know. But you've got upshot. You'll be okay. I don't like that. It just doesn't seem like there's really anything available in this little neck of the woods. And you do have that new construction up there though too that kind of I don't like, but it doesn't seem as nice as you. You know, that is one thing about, I think, about fighting new construction, because you got close to Park Ave, you've got like a couple of new constructions that are similar to you, but fighting new construction is not terrible, right? Because typically your house is going to be nicer than builder grade. So and those new constructions off of Park, they are smaller than you. For sure. But yeah, I think you'll be able to bring it. I think you'll be able to bring it. You know? You think it's the same house? That's what I said. I think it's the same house. It's same year build. So, pretty clear cut, honestly, from that perspective. Painting the wood paneling versus replacing it with drywall. Well, I think you should. I think if you have a comp, I don't know. I'm real big about making comps. If you're going after a comp, then you do what the comp did to bring the comp. I think your kitchen's going to be nicer than their kitchen, for sure. Yeah. Well, your kitchen's going to be nicer, too, I guess. Maybe half and... Maybe not full drywall, maybe half drywall. Or you leave it as a buffer, because you gave yourself a 80 to 100 grand buffer, right, on reno budget if things go the right way. You know what I mean? Go another step. What? What are you saying, Alex? I didn't do anything. I just looked to make sure I didn't accidentally click a mute on you. You're not muted or anything. I promise. I promise you are free to speak. What's my take on planets? I like planets. What? Reword it. Hey, thanks for sharing the live, Cole. I appreciate it. Planets? Is that what you really mean, or is this more code words that I don't understand? Y'all got your dang code words. What does planets mean? Boop boop ba doo. What's 2 plus 2? 3. You'll just DM me? Okay. Bam. I know. I'm totally fine with people asking all sorts of questions. So yeah. No wonder it filtered that out. It's a fish. It's a fish? 2 plus 2 is a fish. 2 plus 2 is a fish? Explain that. So basically the reason a seller won't come after you in court is because they don't want to spend on a lawyer. Well, but in most real estate transactions, though, the defaulting party is responsible for the other party's legal expenses. So no, they'll still come after you, and a lawyer will take it contingent upon coming after you for the legal fees. So how do I feel about planets as a whole? I'm still on a 14-day thing, though. I don't know if I want to talk about Uranus or not. Uranus. Is Uranus a planet? You're closing on a house in 6 days. Nice. For yourself to live in or as an investment? What are you thinking? For yourself. Very cool. Where do you live? What market? What area? Where do you live? Where is this happening? That's exciting. Congratulations. In Nevada. Like Reno or Vegas? Or neither one? How's the weather? Is it dry? Is it really dry there? Outside of Reno. Is the Reno Sheriff's Department really like it is on TV? Like 45 minutes away? Okay. How many times has my LLC been on the hook to buy a house when you're trying to get on contract? Yes, it really is like it is on TV. That's pretty cool. I've always wondered that. I'm glad I have some real in-person confirmation. The roller skates and everything, for sure. The sheriffs took over. That's awesome. That makes me so happy. I just am bursting. There was one time, honestly, Sam Sheet, in which I encountered that I was on the hook to buy the house because I did something. New boot goofing. New boot goofing. That's wonderful. I love that so much. Sorry. Is your house like closer? I'm really getting distracted by this. Is your genuine leather? Is your house closer to Reno than 45 minutes, or like are you getting are you moving closer or further away? So the one time I got an issue is I was doing a very complicated move where this house in Naples had another piece of land with it. Like it was a double lot. And in this particular part of Naples, like there are not lots available here anymore, right? There are not lots available. So the fact that this property had an additional lot was extremely, extremely valuable. So what happened was I went under contract. While I was in contract, I split the parcels actually with the county. I sold, but my contract was on the singular parcel. I split the parcel. I sold the land alone for like 120 grand, which was super awesome. Like that was again the only thing that made the deal work, period, because they wanted way too much money for the house in general. But I split the lot. I sold the lot for 120 grand, but then I didn't have anybody that wanted to buy the house. So that was my big thing where I was on the hook. I ended up getting it, like, it was bad because I just like kept saying to the seller, I'm like, hey, listen, I was just transparent with him because that's how I work. And I'm like, listen, like I took care of the lot, right? I took care of the split and I took care of the lot, and like that part of our deal is all good, right? I have that taken care of. It's just the house that's giving me issues. But at the same time, again, I was being transparent. I was like, the house was always the problem, though. And I was the only one that actually kind of was creative enough to do this whole thing, right? I just need more time to take care of the house. So when I got the house, like got more time with the house, because he was like, I'm going to sue you. I was like, please just give me like 2 more weeks. And again, that was really a weird situation. But I took care of it. I got a buyer for the house. But that was the only time I got, like, and he left basically what happened was he's like, okay, well, I'm leaving you in limbo. Like, I'm not giving you an out. Like, if you don't perform, like, you're stuck in a default situation. Like, I'm not giving you an out. anymore. So that's kind of my thing. You're just goofing. I'm sorry, I got on that story. You know what I mean? I'm not in Reno, just moving down the street. Okay, I gotcha. Near the naval base. You're just goofing. New boot goofing. New house goofing. Ha! New house goofing. I like that. Not new boot goofing, new house goofing. That's pretty fun. Anyways. Yep. Right? New house goofing. That's fun. I like that. Zachary. Exactary. Exactary. I actually fixed my mirror thing. So it's the same on both places now. Okay. 14 days. Our realtor is pretty amazing. We are first-time buyers, so that's a relief. 14. I don't know what the 14 days code word is about, though. Oh, 14 days. Yes. Yes. What day are we on now? The countdown. We've done 2 days now. We've done 2 days. So now we're at 12 days. 12 days return from vacation to where I'm not in a safe mode on the TT right now. Exactly. Realtor's pretty amazing. First time buyers, that's a relief. That's good. It's good. Alex is in LA, around LA market, Southern California market. Not the around Reno market though. Different place. Vacation from Bahamas. I wish it was a Bahamas vacation for sure. That would have been interesting. But Bermuda, not Bahamas, Bermuda. Bermuda, Bahamas, come. But yes, Bermuda, not Bahamas. Nevada's better. I don't know about that. I've not been to Nevada either. If the new bill gets passed by affordable housing affordable housing, I am not up on that actually. We have the same birthday, Alex? Daisy said she would buy dinner. Yeah, I want BlackRock to pay. Like, forget Daisy paying for it. I want her boss to pay for it. Affordable. It passed Senate. Affordable. You're the 9th. Oh, that's cool. Very cool. I don't know if we went over that. Wait, maybe we did, because Daisy is Daisy, then you, and then me. We're all in a row, birthday-wise. Are we all Aries, too? Don't goof too much, new boot goofing. I know. Thanks for goofing with me. That was fun. Follow me. Come back around. I'll do it every day. I do the goofing every day. House bill. Affordable housing. Never mind, she is. Oh, no, she's here. She's just, you know, she's just waiting for her friend to come around. Are you talking about the stuff going on with Reno PD and the police chief kind of being fired? No, I don't know about any of that stuff. I'm just talking about the TV show. I was just talking about the TV show back in the day. Her favorite, yeah, her favorite reverse mortgage lady from NorCal. She's just waiting, hanging in the background to pounce. That's happening too? Interesting. 21st Century Road to Housing Act. Ooh. Seems like some good stuff in there, to be honest with you. Some miscontact going on. Yeah, misconduct. Yeah, the sheriff and actually, I'm gonna be quiet. I'm this is stuff I would say in person, but I'm not gonna say on the internet about our sheriff. So if you are interested, I'm not gonna say anything, but if you are interested, Lee County, Florida sheriff, there's plenty of things on the internet about Lee County Sheriff Carmine Marcino, and you are welcome to do your own research on the Lee County Sheriff. It's very interesting. He is Judge Judy's nephew. That's how that happened. Because Judge Judy has her house down here. And that's all else I'm going to say about that. Yeah, like the Pulte New Res info. They're probably preparing for this kind of stuff. I think that, yeah. I'm not going to say any of that. I'm not going to say, you can do your own research. I'm not going to comment on it because, yeah. I'm not going to comment on it. I don't want to be involved. I see him at the gym, though. He goes to the same gym as me. The sheriff does. So, every time I see him at the gym, I'm just like, yeah. I'm not going to comment, but you haven't said anything wrong so far. I'm just going to say that. They have vantage points now? The other one? I don't know. Well, again, he's Judge Judy's nephew. He's Judge Judy's nephew. All of those things are on the table with this guy. So, whatever. But I do like this bill. Oh, the regulators. Okay. We're trying to get back to real estate and away from the sheriff's conversation that I don't want to have. Great pull, Daisy. Thank you for pulling me back to the not. Yes. So federal block grants raises loan limits for multifamilies, incentivize developers to do more. Eyes wide open, yeah. I mean, obviously it's a huge bill that I think there is investor restrictions. Restricting 350 plus ownership of single investors houses, which I think is probably a good thing. If that's really going to be enforceable. So. But yeah. I think there needs to be a lot of building going on. I think I had this conversation yesterday. Building. It was about woodchucks, but in building, but building new builds, and I even think that renovating homes is building too, right? Like, I think both of those things need to happen, really. That what it says here on Google is it's over 350 homes is the restriction point, which I think that's decent. You know what I mean? I think that's a decent number. I mean, it's your parent company's the target, though. Daisy—it's the same thing. Of the ones that own over 350 houses, for sure. Build new builds, I think, is good. And again, renovating the existing housing is really important too. Honestly. Because that is quicker. I do talk to, actually... right. I think... I was talking to somebody... It's well diverse. Yeah. I think we didn't want to deal with that. Yeah. I think, what was I going to say? The portfolio. I talked to a guy with a portfolio that he's trying to get rid of. I'm going to help him with that. And, you know, he was just talking, you know, as he built his portfolio up, he's at 60 houses, you know, he's at 60 houses now in his portfolio. And he said, well, you know, they're all like, it's quicker to renovate houses than it is to build. So now that he's got his portfolio up to 60, he wants to get rid of 25 and do some new construction and eventually like transition all of his, like, do it in stages. He's going to sell off 25 of his 60 to build the first phase of new construction multifamilies, and then sell another, I don't know, 15 to build the next, and then sell another 15 to do the next phase of the new constructions. But he did say, like, in making the portfolio, it's just quicker to, like, it's quicker to renovate a home than it is to build a house from scratch. It just is. So I think that's kind of important, and a lot of people make that thought process too. It is just, yeah, first time home buyers in that act too for like 15. Yeah, good stuff. But then I think the demand, so that's just going to increase demand, right? That's the thing. It's just going to increase demand, though. That there still needs to be the houses to sell to fit these programs. And all of these programs are probably going to be an FHA loan, and the FHA requirements are much higher. Like, standard of quality is much higher on these than it is on conventional loan products. So, like, you know, so thank you for sharing the life. So, like, if all that happens, all the government says, then the houses have to be, like, again, basically a brand new renovated house or a new construction, basically, to qualify. That's going to be the thing. Those programs are going to require that. So, I mean, not to, like, toot my own horn at all either, but again, then we gotta turn the existing houses in the market into renovated homes. That needs to start turning over, and it has to turn over at a number that actually makes the house flippers profitable too. That is a demand source for sure. Because again, it doesn't work if it doesn't work, then it doesn't work. And yes, you know, Pulte's like one of the largest home builders, right? They're gonna do fine, but you know, not everyone's gonna want a spec Pulte home. You know, there's just people that won't live in a spec house. So then that demand needs to be met too. Like, it would be a nice thought to think that everyone and their mom would just take a spec house. But it's just not the case. What's the little thingies? Tater tots? What are those? Are those tater tots? Yeah, Pulte doesn't care, right? They're just going to push for new construction. But is flan? Those little flan icons? What in the flan are you talking about? What in the flan are you talking about? Or flan? Oh, you have nothing to add to the conversation. Just tapping the screen. What? Tap the screen! Well, then tap the screen then. But at least you're learning things and we're having conversations. Ideas are being exchanged. You know? Thanks for tapping the screen. Do. I got 15 minutes, y'all. Just as a shout out countdown. We gotta pack in lots more fun stuff in the next 15 minutes. Right. I think the Pulte guy is the head of Housing Authority, right? Right now. Former Pulte is head of Housing Authority. Stacked Cabinet, of course. Probably shouldn't. FHFA. Oh, Federal Housing Finance Agency. I thought it was Fair Housing Authority. DFG. He actually rebranded himself. He's actually in the chat. He was here today. He rebranded himself again. It's funny because he didn't actually tell me who he was, but he just kept talking, and I looked at his thing. It's NTX Estate Law now. So he came in and he was talking funny stuff, and like I looked at his thing and it says helping Texas and California families protect what matters. I'm like, Texas and California estate planning. I was like, are you my good friend? And he's like, yes, it is. I was like, oh, okay. I know. That's Sir Girthalot, Esquire, has rebranded to an official professional appearance instead of Dallas Fort Girth anymore. I was probably making him too popular on the internet. Probably what was going on. North Texas. I know. Oh yeah. Yeah, everyone comes into my live streams and just rebrands themselves into much more professional things. Instead of this dude and Sir Girth a lot. It happens a lot. Even Nico. Nico, too, did the same thing. He was something completely different, and then now it's like all his face and Nico. I'm like, I know. I'm doing something right. I'm doing something right. I'm cleaning up the internet. I'm cleaning up the internet. Can you believe it? Who would have thought me would be the one to clean up the internet? Best lead gen. Hi, Fit with Nick. I would say the best lead gen would be like cold data sources like pre-foreclosures, interfamily transfers, code violations. Like those raw data lead sources, I think, are typically the best. You know? That's my thought. Yeah, me cleaning up the internet. Just like, in wholesaling, we clean up all the dirty houses and make them new and pretty and flipped. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. Thoughts on Sub 2? I would be a buyer on Sub 2. I don't like to transact Sub 2s because until that mortgage is closed out, you're still tied to the transaction in a way. So like if that deal goes south, or they stop making payments years into the transaction, you get wrapped back into it, and I don't like that. I like to be done. So, how much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? Houses. You got 4 deals, Dallas. But Dallas in Florida. You cleaned out a house this morning. I think you mentioned that. Making some money. Hey, thanks for liking live. It is a very tricky. Are you the one that I don't know. Have you asked this question to me before? Because I actually get this question asked a lot. So I don't know if it was you or somebody else. But then I have a standardized response to it too. That's actually a little bit more intrinsic than just saying woodchuck, chuck, 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 woodchuck, chuck. If a woodchuck could chuck wood, whole man. I'll tell you my full response. I'm getting good practice at it, actually. My whole woodchuck thing. But I also have another thing too. I think National Association of Realtors need like a mascot, and I think it should be a woodchuck. I think that's another thought I have on woodchucks too. Ah, it was you. Bears. Yep. Bears on Battlestar Galactica. The Bears piloting the Battlestar Galactica take on. Yes. Yes, exactly. That's what I was remembering. 3% interest less than 40K owed on a mortgage. Hard time making payments due to part 2. On fluctuating income, no repairs can be done or have been done to sell for much. What should they do? Beats Battlestar Galactica. Oh, Beats? Like red beets are piloting the Battlestar Galactica? Is that the deal? What should they do? Who is this? Hi, thanks for the heart me. Corey. Hi, Corey. Thanks for the heart me. Who is this with this house, this scenario? No, I understand. Who is it with the scenario? Is it not you? Are you trying? What are you trying to do? Are you trying to like wholesale the house? Who are you related to the house? Or are you just trying to help them? A family member. Okay, gotcha. So 3% rate, 40K owed on the mortgage. So they want to sell it. So basically they're at the point where they want to sell it. So the thing on that particular scenario is I don't think that mortgage with that balance is like worth doing to anything creative with the mortgage, right? I think the mortgage just needs to be paid off because the balance is not high on it, right? Like people that typically are looking to assume mortgages, they want the whole balance, right? They want like closer to the full purchase price. They don't want just a portion of it. So I don't think that really benefits anybody doing some mortgage assumption, right? What state is this house in? So I wouldn't recommend doing any sell. Like that's a bunch of complication, or like they have what they do like wraps too, where they assume your mortgage and do seller finance term. I think that's a lot of stuff to do about nothing. Texas, it's a low balance. They're just having a hard time paying. How old are they? You just learned about this in class today? Really? What class? If they're like over 62, they can do a reverse. They can refinance it into a reverse mortgage. That's an option where they don't have to make any payments. You know, they're in their 50s. Okay. Well, wait a minute. What's the age for reverse, Daisy? What's the age for reverse, Daisy? Daisy. Hello, Daisy. Earth to Daisy. On your pre-license real estate classes in PA. Okay, cool. Very cool. 62. It is 62. Okay. So we're not there. I was right the first go around. I was thinking maybe it was 50s. Yes, and congratulations. So they need to get rid of the house. They still need to get rid of the house. I mean, they could take a cash offer. They could take a cash offer, right? Just to get out of the scenario. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. I mean, that's kind of like the scenario, I guess, in which you can't afford to do the repairs, all that good stuff. You can take a cash offer and then it's done. They should have some equity with that low of a balance. Again, doing anything creative is kind of, you know, I wouldn't do anything creative with that scenario. You maybe yeah. So that was my next thought process, actually. My next one I was just about to say is you could like refinance. You could do a bridge. You could maybe find someone to do a bridge loan, which would be like a 3 to 6 month short-term second position loan that would enable you to bring it up to rental standards, but and then refinance into a DSCR mortgage, which is for rental properties. That would be kind of maybe. That's a lot of loans, right? But and they would need to be, even getting the bridge, they would need to be out of the house. They would need to be out of the house to do the bridge. Do I do commercial? Like, I have a camera. I can do commercials. What do you want me to sell? Welcome to my island. Or no. Commercial real estate? Of course. Yeah, I mean, those are some options. You're gonna use your 401. Convert, if you're gonna do that, convert to a self-directed IRA. There are companies that will do self-directed IRAs. Convert your 401k to a self-directed IRA. That's your first step. I think Midland Trust is one company that I know. I don't know if they're just local to here, but I think they're pretty much national, but they will let you do self-directed IRAs. Look into that. Commercial. I do commercial real estate, sure. Property sitting on the market over 200 days. How would I lowball them or ask for a creative option? I mean, you're on market for 200 days. What are you doing? Something's not working right. If you're on the market for 200 days, what you gonna do? What you gonna do with all that junk up on the MLS for 200 days? That was fun. I like that. It's overpriced, yeah. How much can I purchase a property that's currently owned in a REIT? Can I purchase the property that's currently owned in a REIT? REITs have a lot of mechanisms. They need a lot of approval windows because basically it's a stock. So there's like a lot of like board of directors things. There's lots of like qualifications that have to be met, like board votes, ownership share votes, all that things that like make it happen so that they are allowed to sell something that's in a REIT. It's not like REITs are a very slow moving mechanism, like on all aspects. So like, I don't know if you see something that's in a REIT and you want to buy it, if it's not like on market, I mean, they have to like that like process for them in order to make a decision in order to sell it is probably going to take a long time for them to get to that point. So it's overpriced. Yes. No. Daisy says no. It's probably on market for 200 days. They're likely not even looking at low balls. That's why they're still on market. That's true too, but you never know. You never know. Because of everything you just said just right then. Yeah. Oh, you were saying no to the REIT thing. Yeah. Yeah, no. Like, again, that requires like action, like lots of stuff has to happen. So, 200 days. Yeah. So, I mean, I would do it for fun. I would do it. I would do it for fun, just a cash offer on house that's been on market for 200 days, just for fun. I wouldn't really expect or put any eggs in the basket that they even consider it, though, to be honest. Yeah, right. They wouldn't entertain it. That's true. They wouldn't entertain it. It would need to go through, like... It. I don't even know... It depends on how the REIT is structured, too. They may not even... Like... They may not even, like, be allowed to sell for a certain amount of time. I mean, most of them are structured that they can't sell certain parts. Like, it's, like, governed in the origination of the REIT that they own whatever, when they purchase it, that they own it for a certain amount of time, too. It's yeah. There's way too much rigidity and structure in a REIT to even bother with it, you know? Yeah. But interesting question. Right. Interesting question. That's not one that I've encountered. I just know. You know? I just know about REITs, but, you know. That's not actually a even remotely question I've gotten. The REIT and wholesaling crossover has never happened before, so that's pretty interesting. But anyways, I've surpassed my time, y'all. So I'm going to get off of here. But now I know why. Well, I mean, I know why, but it's still... I'm just saying the whatever principle of a new one. But thanks, guys. You have a great night, and I'll talk to you soon, okay? Bye-bye.